guys, today I'll be letting you know what teams to choose for the men's tournament challenge in March Madness. So today, I'm just going to give you a rundown of what teams I would choose in my bracket, and hopefully you guys enjoy. If you can, please like and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers, so yeah, just please subscribe. Now, starting off, we have Gonzaga. Gonzaga is a very, very good team. Easy pick. I'm picking them first. Pretty obvious. Now, this next one, Oklahoma, Missouri. It's pretty tight. Missouri has won against Illinois and Alabama. OU is very, very good so far this season. I think that OU has a better chance at winning this game, because they have played more top 25 teams, as you can see right here. They are in a hard conference, in my opinion. I know some of you guys might not agree with me, but I think that their conference is a lot harder to play in. Yes, they have lost to Oklahoma State twice, but, you know, Oklahoma State is a very good team, so I assume a lot of other teams would lose to this team as well. I think that this team, OU, is a sleeper pick, in my opinion. I know that Missouri has beaten Illinois, I am sure of that, and Arkansas. But in my opinion, I think, based on my personal preferences and what I think Oklahoma is the better team here. Next, we got Creighton and UCSB. UCSB has gone on a tear. 18-1 win streak. I think that they are a very good team. They have not played any top 75 teams because of their conference and the teams they play. Creighton, on the other hand, has played on many, many good teams. Record against top 25 is 3-2. They have beaten Seton Hall twice, but they're not very good. They have beaten Villanova, and they did lose by 1 to Kansas. And they have been beaten Yukon 3 times. So I think, based on what I'm seeing here, I think Creighton is the obvious pick. Next, we have Virginia and Ohio. Ohio has played a top 25 team, and they only lost by 2 against Illinois, which is very surprising. Even though they have not played as many teams as, many top 25 teams as Virginia. Virginia has played Gonzaga, and obviously they lost. Virginia, I heard that they have been affected by the COVID with different players, unfortunately. So I think that kind of brings their level to down a little bit. But they are a good team, as we can see right here. 13 seed has been a number 4 seed in 25 of 35 years. So I think I'm going to have to go Ohio on this one. Even though their points per game is a lot, they haven't played as many good teams as Virginia, but I think that Ohio will pull this one out. So they have not picked a team as the 11th seed yet, because they have not played yet. But I think either way, I think USC is going to win this game pretty easily, even though they haven't played as many good teams. But I think that either way, I think they're secure. I'm going to switch over here to Baylor. I think Baylor's obvious pick right here. Now, this next one could get a little tricky. I'm not sure. Wisconsin has played more top 25 teams than UNC, even though UNC is known to do well in these playoffs. UNC has beaten Florida State, but they lost 2 times after that. I think Wisconsin has played a lot harder teams because of their conference and the teams that are in it. UNC, this is a close one. I think for now I'm going to pick North Carolina just because of their record against top 25 teams. But I might change that in a little bit. We'll see. Next we have Villanova and Winthrop. Winthrop has a 23-1 record. They are 12 seed. Villanova is 3-1 against top 25 teams. And Villanova has been known to do very well in these playoffs. They've won a couple over the years, the past 5 years. They have been Creighton. They have been Texas. They've been Yukon. They lost Virginia Tech. Let's keep that in mind. I think Villanova is a very good team. Well, not a very good team, a solid team this year. Sorry about that. I think that even though Winthrop is 23-1, they haven't played as many good teams, but they do have a good defense, just like Villanova, and they do average a lot more points than them. But I think that's because of their conference. BPI has Villanova in the top 10, so I think Villanova is the obvious pick here. Next, we have Purdue and North Texas. North Texas it's like one of the first times getting to the tournament. They only played one top 25 team they lost, and that was to either Arkansas or Loyola or West Virginia. They are 17-9. They have, I guess, they have a pretty good point guards and good defense. Definitely good defense. Right here, as you can see, 61 points. Opponents' points per game. But I think Purdue is definitely the better team here. They have faced a lot more better competition. Even though they did lose to these three teams, they did beat Ohio State twice, and they have beaten Wisconsin and Maryland. Let's keep that in mind. But they did lose to Clemson and Rutgers, which is pretty bad, in my opinion, because they're not that good. There's definitely a chance for a upset here, but I think in the long run, I'm going to have to go with Purdue. And I think this one right here is going to be pretty close, so I might change it a little bit. Next, down here we have Kansas and Eastern Washington. In my opinion, there's no way that Kansas loses this game. I mean, they've played too many good teams, and their record is just too good to be beaten by this team who was basically a nobody. Like it says here, 90% chance for Eastern Washington to win the game, which is not very likely. Plus, they've only played really two teams that both suck, and they lost to both of them. So I think overall, Kansas is obviously going to win this game. Let's switch over here. We have Texas Tech and Utah State. I think, in my personal opinion, let's see. In 2019, Texas Tech did go to the finals. I think that with the coach that they have, I'm not saying the players, I'm saying the coach is a very good coach, Chris Beard. He led them to the final 2 years ago. And I think he can do it again. Even though their team's not as good, they have a worse record, but they have played better teams. They are 3-8. They played 11 top 25 teams. Even though they've lost 8 of those, I think that even though that is, pretty bad, I think overall they will beat Utah State, who's only played one top 25 team. But they have beaten San Diego State twice, which is pretty good. They beat Colorado State, not that good. I think in this situation, you have to go with Texas Tech. I don't see any other way. I think they are going to win this game pretty easily. Next, we have Arkansas and Colgate. Colgate is 14-1. They've not faced a top 75 team yet, which is bad. I think Arkansas. They have beaten Alabama, which is good. They did lose to Tennessee, and they lost Oklahoma State. They beat LSU once, lost them twice, beat Missouri twice. I think overall, I think Arkansas is definitely the better team here, but Colgate does have a pretty good team. They average 86 points per game, which is a ton, I have to say. And they have one of the best players right now, which is Jordan Burns, who averages 15 points and 1.83 threes per game. I think their defense is very good. I think that they might upset Arkansas here, so I think I'm going to go with Colgate on this one. Sorry, guys. Just my opinion, sorry. Next one, we got Florida and Virginia Tech. I mean, to me, this is pretty obvious. I think Virginia Tech's going to win this game. I mean, they're 4-0 against top 25 teams. They're 15-6. Their defense averages 65 points against opponents, which is very good. Even though they are ranked a little lower than in Florida, I think that they have beaten Villanova and Virginia. They did lose to Syracuse, which is bad. But I think overall, if you look at their team, you can see that even though, they have their games have been canceled a lot, I think that if they were given the chance with those games, I think they'd win all of them. So in my opinion, I think Virginia Tech's going to easily win this game right here. Next, I'm not even going to look at it. Ohio State's going to win the game. Oh, here we got Oregon, VCU. It's pretty close. This is a close one right here. They're both 0-1 against top 25 teams. Oregon has played better teams. They did beat Colorado, which is very good. But they did lose to USC and Missouri, which is not very good in my opinion. 6 seed, 9 seed. You can't do that when you're 7 seed. But they do have a better record than VCU. VCU has not played as many good teams, but they have beaten Utah State. They did beat St. Bonaventure once, lost them twice. I think I'm going to go with the upset here. I think I'm going to go with VCU on this one. Even though Oregon has a good team, I think that VCU will pull this dub out. Next, we have Iowa and Grand Canyon University. I think this one's a no-brainer, especially if you consider Luka Garza, who has really just blown up this year, in my opinion. Let's go back up here. We got Gonzaga, Oklahoma. I think even though Oklahoma has had a great season, I think that Gonzaga, considering their record and their team, have 2 top 10 future picks on their roster. I think Gonzaga will definitely pull this one out. Over here we got Creighton and Ohio. I think Creighton is a very, very good team. I think that if they play a team like Ohio, I think they'd destroy them. Their defense is very good. They are ranked top 15 in ranks in PPI. They are in a hard conference, so I think let's go Creighton on this one. Over here we got Baylor, North Carolina. I think this one's pretty obvious. I'm going to go with Baylor. I don't care what they say about North Carolina. Baylor's going to win. Villanova, Purdue. This is going to be a tough one. They are very similar, both teams. They have similar playing styles and techniques. Purdue has faced more top 25 teams than Villanova. Purdue, even though they have lost to all these 3 teams, they have beaten Ohio State twice. They beat Wisconsin and Maryland. But they did lose to these 2 teams, Rutgers and Clemson. Villanova has beaten Texas. They beat Yukon. They have lost to Virginia Tech, which is not very good in my opinion. And they have won and lost to Creighton. In my opinion, I think Purdue is obviously the better team here. So I'm going to go with Purdue. Over here, we got USC and Kansas. Both pretty solid teams. USC has a good team, but they have lost Colorado three times. I mean, you lost to Yukon. There's no way they're beating Kansas, so I'm gonna have to go with Kansas on this one. Down here we have VCU Iowa. I mean, I'm just gonna go Iowa. Pretty obvious. Over here we have Texas Tech and Colgate. I think, like I said, with the coaching staff at Texas Tech, and the players that are there, I mean, they have to win this game. So I'm gonna go with Texas Tech. Sorry about that. Like I said, Texas Tech is easily gonna win this game against Colgate. Their coaching staff and the players that they have and the defense that they have is definitely gonna destroy Colgate. Next, we have a close one here. We have Virginia Tech and OSU or Ohio State. Both very solid teams. Excuse me. I think Ohio State is definitely the better team in this situation. They have beaten Illinois and Michigan and Iowa and Purdue and Wisconsin. But, I mean, I don't know. I just have a feeling about Virginia Tech. They might pull the upset, but I'm going to have to go with Ohio State on this one. Coming down to the Elite Eight over here. Easily going to pick Gonzaga on this one. I don't care what Creighton is. Gonzaga's going to win. Now, here we have a very, very close one. I think Iowa and Kansas are like the same team. But Kansas has a way better defense. And Iowa has a better offense. So, when it comes down to that, PPI, I mean, Iowa's ranked top 5. And they are in the hard conference, in my opinion. They have, even though they lost Gonzaga, they have beaten Ohio State. They lost to Michigan by a ton. And Illinois. But they've beaten Wisconsin 3 times. They beat Purdue, they beat Maryland, and they beat North Carolina. Plus, Kansas is dealing with a couple of COVID-19 situations. I think overall, in my opinion, I think Iowa is definitely going to win this game. Now, excuse me. I think up here, Baylor and Purdue. This is going to be a close game because Baylor is a very good team that they have lost to Kansas and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is one of the best teams, in my opinion, in this tournament. So that makes sense. They've beaten them twice, but they lost them once. Purdue, I mean, I want them to win this situation, but I don't think it's possible. Baylor's number 2 right now, too. So I think right now I'm going to go with Baylor on this one. Down here, we have Texas Tech and Ohio State. I mean, they're both ranked in the top 10. Both are very good teams. Texas Tech has lost a lot more games. I think that's why they're ranked so low. And, I mean, they're lackluster. Defense hasn't been as good these last couple of games. So I think if they can pull it together on defense, I think they can beat Ohio State. But Ohio State's just too good, man. I don't know. I mean, their defense isn't that great. Their offense is pretty good. They have beaten Illinois and Michigan, like I said. I don't know, this is a tough one. I really want Texas Tech to win. I really do. I think Texas Tech is going to win this game, in my opinion. I think they pull it off. They beat Ohio State, and they go to the that was sweet. Elite 8. Now, I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to wait for this. I'll come back to that in a little bit. Down here, we got Michigan. These two teams. easily going to pick Michigan right there. Now, this is going to be a close game because LSU has great offense, but their defense is terrible. But Sam Bonavar, whatever it's called, has a very good defense. Their offense is not too great. They only average 70 points a game. They are both ranked in top 30. They're both in, kind of the same conference. They've been VCU twice. St. Bonaventure hasn't played as many good teams. They haven't even played a top 25 team, but they have beaten VCU twice. That's good. That's a good sign, I guess. I don't know. LSU has lost Alabama 3 times. They beat Arkansas twice, though. They beat Tennessee. They lost Texas Tech. They lost Florida. They did beat Missouri. So, I don't know. I think, in my opinion, because of their defense, I'm going to have to go with St. Bonaventure on this one. Next, we have Colorado versus Georgetown. As we all know, Georgetown has won their conference this past week. If it wasn't for COVID, they probably wouldn't have. But since they have, I'm going to give it to them. I think that they are a good team. Their defense is not looking too good. They have played more top 25 teams, too. Offense, 71 points per game. I don't know. I don't trust them. I really don't. Colorado has beaten USC 3 times. But they did lose to Tennessee. Georgetown has played hard teams and is in the harder conference. So I can see why some people pick them. But I think in this situation, we're 13-12. I don't think there's no way you can beat Colorado. I think Colorado's too good. Their defense is too good, and I think that they're going to win this game. Next, we have Florida State and UNC Greensboro. This is a pretty obvious pick in my opinion. I'm going to have to go with Florida State on this one. No questions asked. Over here, Illinois easily. But here we got Loyola Chicago and Georgia Tech. Loyola Chicago has the number 1 defense. They only allow 55 points per game. They've only played 1 top 25 team and they lost. Sorry about that. They lost to Wisconsin by 14. That's the only team they played in the top 25. So, even though they have played not many top 25 teams, I think Sister, whatever her name is, I think she's going to give that magical sense to these players, and I think that they're going to pull it off and beat Georgia Tech. I know Georgia Tech is a good team. I've seen them play. But I think in this situation, Loyola Chicago has a chance to beat Georgia Tech, and I think they will. Next, we have Tennessee, Oregon State. I don't know, man. Oregon State is 2-1 versus top 25 teams. Even though the record doesn't show it, but they are a good team. They beat Colorado. Okay, they beat USC and Oregon and UCLA. Tennessee has lost to Alabama twice. They also beat Colorado. They beat Kansas. They beat Arkansas. They beat Florida and Missouri. But they did lose Ole Miss. Ole Miss, not a good team. Both have pretty... Oregon State doesn't have great defense. Tennessee has a pretty good defense. But they both are pretty good. I know Oregon State is ranked pretty low on the BPI, and Tennessee's pretty high. But I'm going to have to go with the underdog. I'm going to go with Oregon State on this one. Next, we have Oklahoma State and Liberty. This is pretty obvious in my opinion. I think Oklahoma State is going to beat the living heck out of Liberty. They face way better teams, and they are definitely in the better conference. In the hard conference. So I don't see any other way besides Oklahoma State winning this game. Oh, here we got BYU and UCLA or Michigan State. I think I'm just gonna go with BYU. I don't really care. I'm just gonna go with BYU on this one. Next, we have a Texas versus Abilene Christian. Texas is the Big 12 winner. If they weren't the Big 12 winner, they'd be probably a 6th or 5th seed right now, but they are a 3 seed. They are 7-6 against top 25 teams. They are a top 25 ranked team right now. They beat Kansas twice, beat Texas Tech twice, they beat OSU twice, beat North Carolina, and AC had only played Arkansas, and they lost Texas Tech as well. So I think when you're pulling all these factors, I'm going to have to go with Texas on this one. Over here we got San Diego State and Syracuse. Both are ranked pretty high in my opinion. San Diego State is 2-0. They have very good defense. Offense pretty solid too. I think in this situation, I'm just gonna go San Diego State. They're too good to be beaten by 11 seed right now. So I'm just gonna go with them. Down here, West Virginia, Morehead State. Morehead State is 23-7. They have played 2 top 25 teams and lost both of them. I think West Virginia is a very good team. Defense is not very good. I think West Virginia, like I said, is in the hard conference. They have played more top 25 teams. Even though Morehead State is a good defense, I think that their offense, West Virginia's offense, is going to overpower them. And so I think West Virginia's going to win this game, in my opinion. Next, we have Clemson and Rutgers. Clemson only played 3 top 25 teams, which is not very good. But they have beaten Alabama. They lost to Virginia by 35 points. I mean, that's insane. They have beaten Florida State, but they also lost. Beat Purdue. Beat Georgia Tech. But they did lose to Virginia Tech as well. Rutgers, on the other hand, has beaten Illinois. They beat Maryland, beat Purdue, beat Michigan State. So even though Clemson is the better team here, in my opinion, Rutgers has just, has, when you beat Illinois, that's automatic, win in the tournament. So in my opinion, I think Rutgers is going to win this game. I mean, when you beat a number 1 seed throughout the season, I mean, you have to be at least making it to the round 32, or if not, Sweet 16. Next we got Houston, Cleveland State. I think that's pretty obvious. I'm going to have to go with Houston. They have one of the best defenses in the country right now. Yeah. Next we have Yukon and Maryland. Now, I don't know why Yukon is ranked so high when they they're 0-4 against top 25 teams. So when you have that as a factor in this, and you have Maryland, who has beaten Illinois, they beat Purdue, they beat Wisconsin, they beat Rutgers. When you beat a number 1 seed at Illinois, I'll remind you, it's at Illinois. You have to make it to the round 32, in my opinion. And so I see what Yukon being crushed by Maryland. I just don't see Maryland getting beat by Yukon, in my opinion. They're just too good. This one, I'm not even going to look at it. Alabama's going to win this game easily. Okay, let's go back up here. Michigan, say Bonaventure. I mean, look, they played 0 top 25 teams. We don't even know if they're going to beat LSU. But they are ranked in the top 30. I'll remind you that. But Michigan is in the top 10. I mean, you have Michigan, who's the number 1 seed, who's 6-3 against top 25 teams, and they have one of the best defenses in the country. I think that just there's no way that they get beaten by this team right here. So I'm gonna pick Michigan. Down here, Colorado, Florida State. Colorado, great team. Florida State, great team. Colorado definitely has a better defense than FSU. FSU is 2-0 against top 25 teams. They have beaten Virginia. They beat Georgia Tech. They have beaten North Carolina twice. And they beat Florida. But, in my opinion, I think that Colorado's defense is going to overpower this team, FSU right here. I think that their defense is too good. And, I mean, they're ranked higher than FSU's too. So, even though they are 2-0 against top 25 teams, I think Colorado's going to win this game, in my opinion. Over here we have Illinois or Loyola Chicago. I think this is a pretty obvious pick, in my opinion. I think Illinois is just too good. I mean, sorry, Chicago. I just think that Illinois is a better team, in my opinion. Sorry. Next, we have Oklahoma State, Oregon State. Oklahoma State is looking great this year, in my opinion. I think that considering that they are 9-5, I'll repeat that 9-5 against top 25 teams, that there's no way that Oregon State beats them at all, in my opinion. So I'm gonna pick OSU on this one. Next, we have BYU and Texas. This is gonna be a close game, definitely. BYU has not played as many top 25 teams as Texas. They've lost to Gonzaga 3 times. But they have beaten San Diego State. I'll give them that. Lost to USC by 26 points. I mean, and they have beaten Utah State. But I think, considering all the factors, I think Texas is the team that's going to win here. Next, we have San Diego State. Sorry, I'm going to go back down here. Next, we have Maryland and Alabama. This is going to be definitely a close game. Alabama is a top 10 team. They haven't played as many top 25 teams. They have been Arkansas and Tennessee and LSU. But they did lose to Missouri. So I think considering that, and they have lost to Clemson, oh my gosh, and Oklahoma. Alabama is all around. I don't know what to do with them. Maryland has beaten Illinois, they lost to Michigan 3 times, lost to Iowa, lost to Ohio State. They have beaten Purdue, have beaten Wisconsin, have beaten Rutgers. I don't know. This is a tough one. Maryland has a better defense, not the greatest offense. Alabama definitely has a better offense. But I think I'm going to go with the underdogs here. I think I'm going to go Maryland on this one. Next, we have San Diego State and West Virginia. This is going to be a close game. You have San Diego State, who's 23-4, ranked in the top 20. And then you have West Virginia, who is a very, very solid team. San Diego State has not played as many top 25 teams. Their defense is one of the best in the country. But I think, in my opinion, San Diego State is going to win this game. And the reason why I say that is because they are 2-0. They have a great defense. They score a lot. West Virginia defense is not good. They're 5-7 against top 25 teams. They are ranked top 30. Points per game, they do average more, but I think because of the San Diego State's defense, I think that they're going to win this game, in my opinion. Next, we have Rutgers or Houston. I think Houston is going to win this game easily. So let's go back up here. We have Baylor or Texas Tech. Baylor is definitely the obviously better team here. Defensively wise, I think Texas Tech is better. They're in the same conference. Texas Tech has lost to them twice. So I think we put that into perspective. I think that you can say that Baylor is the obvious winner here. So I'm going to go with Baylor. Over here, it's going to be a super close game. I mean, we have Luka Garza, who's probably top 10, top 5 pick this year. Then we have Gonzaga, who has 2 of the top 10 picks in this year's draft. I think when you put those all in perspective, I think Gonzaga is definitely the better team here. I mean, they average 92 points per game. That's insane. And then they already beat Iowa this year by 11. So I think we put that in perspective. I think that Gonzaga's going to win this game pretty obviously. And then over here, we have Texas and Maryland. I think that Texas is going to win this game. I really do. They're 7-6. They have a good defense, or I mean, not great defense, but pretty decent. I think they've beaten almost all the teams in Big 12. They beat Kansas twice. They beat Texas Tech. They beat West Virginia. They beat Oklahoma State twice and North Carolina. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Texas on this one. Up here we got Michigan and Colorado. I think in this situation, I'm going to go with Michigan. I have to. They're too good. Their defense is too good. Their coach is too good. And their team's just obviously too good. So I'm going to go with them. Over here we have, sorry about that. We have Illinois and Oklahoma State. I don't know. Oklahoma State does not have a great defense, but they do have a great offense. They are top 40. Even though Illinois is number 4. I think there's going to be an upset right here. I think OSU is going to pull off the upset. I think that they're going to win this game. Over here we have Ohio. We have Houston and San Diego State. I think Houston's defense is very good. And I think that when you put that in perspective, I think that they're obviously going to beat San Diego State. I think they're just too good to not beat San Diego State in this situation, so I'm going to go with them. Over here we have Michigan and Texas. This is going to be a close game. Michigan has a better defense. Oh my gosh, they lost to Illinois by 23 points. They have beaten Maryland, they beat Wisconsin, they beat Iowa, beat Ohio State. I think since Michigan is in the hard conference, I think they're going to win. So I'm going to go with Michigan. Over here, Oklahoma State versus Houston. Houston has only played one top 25 team. They beat Texas Tech. They beat Wichita State. So I think considering their defense is so good because they play such easy teams. So I think because of Oklahoma State's because of who they play in their conference and because their conference is so hard, much harder than Houston's, I think that Oklahoma State is going to win this game. Even though their defense is not great and they're not ranked as high, I think that their defense with Cade Cunningham is just going to be unstoppable, so I'm going to go with them. Now up here, we have Gonzaga, Michigan. I think that Gonzaga is going to win this game. The reason I say that is because they have 4-0 against top 25 teams. They have a great offense, 2 top 10 picks. Defense is pretty good. Michigan, even though they are in the harder conference, have not performed well under pressure, in my opinion. And because of COVID, I think that they're going to lose in this game. So I'm going to go with Gonzaga. Over here, We got OSU and Baylor. Baylor has beaten them twice, but OSU has beaten Baylor once. Baylor has a better defense, has a better offense. They're number 2 as a rank. They're 7-2 against top 25 teams. But they have faced less top 25 teams, in my opinion, which is a big factor. But I think overall, Baylor is easily won this game, so I'm going to go with Baylor. Now, for my final pick, I think that considering their team and how they've been playing this year, I think that Gonzaga is going to win this game. And I'm predicting 80-77 Gonzaga. And there's my picks. Thank you guys for watching. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. If you do enjoy this video, please hit the like button. And I'll see you guys later.